Listen, I'm easy to find. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.
What's going on, YouTube? It's Nathan back with another video presentation. Happy Hump Day, happy Wednesday. I hope everyone's off to a great week. Hope everybody's staying safe. I do apologize if this video is late. I do apologize that I'm behind with the videos, with the recent rescheduling of games and all that. It was hard to, I was going to go live last night, but it just wasn't going to work for me. So this is episode 5 of the season 5 of the podcast. Couple things I want to get into before we start the video. A couple announcements. As I stated, I will start using Melon going forward. Most likely, I will start using that after Christmas. So I will still use StreamYard from time to time. I'm probably just making small videos here and there, but I'll be on Melon most of the time. It still works the same way like StreamYard. Couple other things. As far as episode 6, you will see another video from me live tomorrow. With the way the scheduling has been thrown off, I want to give a preview for the Christmas games for the NBA football as well, and also to Maryland basketball is coming back after their break. So I want to get episode 6 out the way for y'all. That way y'all have this episode 5 and 6 to enjoy until after the break, because I probably won't. I'll be on Melon after the break. So those are my announcements. Go as far as regarding the podcast. Now, I don't know when season 5 ends. This might be this might low key be the shortest season. Season 5 will probably end sometime after the NFL season, regular season. I'm not sure yet. I have to talk with my producers, see what's going on about that. But a plethora of games, again, thrown off by this crazy schedule. And we're just going to get into it. So really quick, we're going to recap the Thursday night game of the Colts versus the Patriots, 27-17. The Colts showed you Sunday night games. The Colts showed you how to beat the Patriots. I thought the Patriots had this game won. Carson Wentz only threw 12 passes, a touchdown. He did throw a pick. Jonathan Taylor, I guess what bothers me is that with Derrick Henry out, this is just my opinion. We can disagree. I feel like Derrick Henry for 3 seasons has had to get his flowers compared to what Jonathan Taylor has in 1 season. Not taking anything away from Jonathan Taylor, because I think personally Jonathan Taylor and Cooper Kupp are going to be your co-MVPs for this season. Guaranteed. Okay. Now, I'm confident with the Colts going forward. The Patriots didn't look anything like what we saw them beginning of the year. Now I think we're starting to see what the Patriots are looking like. The play calling, and then getting behind early. They were down. As far as they were down early, I look at the 8 penalties that New England committed. One that actually took points off the board. Special teams didn't do a great job. And then again, like, you're coming into this game where I think I would thought you would easily have gotten this win. Didn't see that. I think when you let Jonathan Taylor go for pretty much the dagger in that game, I thought that was it for me personally. I still think that the Colts will win the AFC East, but I think you left the door open. I love that take. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. Cooper Kupp Taylor co-MVPs. I think so. It's time. It's time we start. Excuse me. Sip water. It's time we start really, truly giving this award to players that deserve it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Quarterbacks are well deserving of it. But what makes a quarterback special? It's the guys around him, the wide receiver, running back. Colts D is going to be a problem in the postseason. I agree. DeForest Buckner, Darius Leonard, those boys are no jokes. And again, like you get Xavier Rhodes and those guys healthy, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. The Patriots, they'll go back home and play those Buffalo Wild Wings, and then the Indianapolis Colts, they're going to the desert and Arizona and facing those Arizona Cardinals. The Colts win the AFC South. Stay woke. I have a surprise for you when we get to the segment in a little bit. Next, let's recap a surprising game here. The Baltimore Ravens versus those Green Bay Packers. I was surprised. I was really sitting here thinking, okay, we're facing the Green Bay Packers and Mr. Fractured Toe. Our defense is practically hanging on with tape and glue. We're still the best run defense in the league. As far as passing, that's another story for another day. Lost a couple guys to COVID. You need a new segment. I'll stay woke. I like it. The Ravens look, I have been critical of this team from the jump, particularly the recent performances. But morale-wise, I'm proud of these boys. I truly am. Let's keep it real. Now, we started this game off well, okay? The first quarter, we took our 7-0 lead. We outscored, we outperformed. Green Bay was like 120 yards compared to like 35 offensively. And then for some odd reason, then they just started to just click. And we didn't really keep up with their pace. I thought the game was truly over in the fourth. We were down. I think it was at that point 30, 31, 21, I believe it was. We were down. I feel like, okay, we're down 11. It's a wrap. Now, let me say this. I'm proud of Tyler Huntley. I'm proud of the fact that he stepped in now 2 critical games and has played well. But I want to kill, because this is just me, but I want to kill this notion that, well, you've got a guy that can pass the ball better, X, Y, and Z going forward for the future, cut ties with Lamar after this season, and this is your guy. I disagree with that. Now, for the best chance for the Ravens to win right now, Tyler Huntley should be starting. Because me personally, Lamar, as great as he is, I personally believe the critics have gotten to his head. I think personally he's been doing too much. What the heck? Tyler Huntley replaces Lamar.
Relationship with your children.
My God.
Okay, Mr. Herndon Double Deuce. Okay, all right. No, but seriously, right now he gives him the best chance to win. I just feel like right now with Lamar, it's all mental, and going right now, it's best going forward. Personally, now I think Tyler Huntley's opened some eyes across the league because somebody gonna pay him some money. Now, this is my only fear with that, because when you sign guys like him on teams that are low-key mediocre and they're going to find ways. Well, we signed him and it didn't work. Well, where was the quarterback for Baltimore? I don't want to see him go to a team and he fails. That's just me. Okay. Let's also give really quick. John Harbaugh, for the most part, should be, in my opinion, coach of the year. Guaranteed. When you have 20 guys on the IR, okay, you've coached this team. Now we're 8-6, unfortunately. I don't really understand this notion of his ego has gotten in the way of this team. What he's showing me, particularly going for 2, he's putting trust in his players. My only the issue is mix it up, because we all knew it was obvious it was going to go to Mark Andrews. Just me. Mix it up. I don't give it's play action, something. I know we could talk about Marquise Brown being open, but the play, it was well designed, but they knew it was going to be Mark Andrews. I just feel like we need to mix it up. Just me. So I don't understand why we're questioning the coaching and the greatness of John Harbaugh, because in that moment, hell yeah, I'm trying to go for the win. I understand going to overtime. Green Bay does have a losing record, but I understand you got 2 critical stops, but I'm trying to win the game. I'm putting all my chips in the middle of the table. Green Bay, I know Mr. Fractured Toe, title franchise record. I think he's going to surpass Brett Favre. Overall, I think it was a great football game. Morale-wise, the Ravens looked really good. Disappointing, though, as we face the Cincinnati Bengals, which is a must-win game, because if we don't win that game, I don't think it's going to look good for Baltimore making the playoffs. Because I believe after that game, it was like a 50% chance. I was surprised. We put 30 points on the Green Bay Packers. The Cheeseheads, Green Bay Packers, they go back home to the frozen tundra and play the Cleveland Browns, and we go to Cincinnati and face the Bengals. That game, to me, again, I think that's for all the marbles. Let's transition into another surprising game that was actually threw me off. The Washington football team versus the Philadelphia Eagles. The final score was not what I thought it would be. Philadelphia goes on the 500, and we're now 6-8. Honestly and truthfully, as an offensive unit, we just had a hard time finding some rhythm. I understand with guys out with injuries, COVID. We had Gilbert out there starting. He was okay. Just is a guy who is new to the team, he's a temporary replacement. And when you gotta get adjusted to the playbook, teammates, different things like that, yeah, and the rhythm's gonna be off. Shout out to Sean Spencer, Will Kramer. They were on early this evening with Washington Football Weekly. They broke the game down further, even more. I agree. Antonio Gibson, he struggled to get going. Terry McLaurin, I feel like Philadelphia, they kind of just kept us out of rhythm pretty much the whole game. I'll give credit to our defense. We were right. We fought with them early. Montez Sweat, Allen both had a sack. No, not a sack. They did get to the quarterback very, very frequently. But as far as the running game, Miles Sanders, Jalen Hurts, no answers. And honestly and truthfully, going into the game later, it just became very, very predictable. Yeah. This actually, this really stung. I mean, the Jared Patterson had a touchdown because, again, with McKissick out with a concussion, that actually may be our running backs going forward. Gibson and Patterson until McKissick comes back. But to score 20, for them to score 20 points unanswered like that. Again, I blame the injuries and I blame COVID. Had we had guys healthy, some guys they are ready to play. I think it'd been a different ball game. I really do. This sucks. Really does. However, the Eagles, they actually stay at home and they play the New York G-Men. Because I think at this point with Daniel Jones out for the season, he actually, I think, has the same neck injury that Peyton Manning had. So Jake Fromm probably will probably take the starting job. And we, Washington, will kick the Dallas Cowboys' ass. I believe we play them on the 26th, the day after Christmas. Guaranteed. Also, too, I want to say this real quick. I thought it was a little crazy that we had some Eagle players making comments about how it's unfair that the games had to be postponed because guys can't X, Y, and Z. If that was your team, you wouldn't say that. I mean, have some respect and have some compassion, have some respect. We want Dallas, we do. Just have some respect and some compassion, man. Because this is not about trying to win games. This is something that's now affecting all 50 states and across the country. Cases are going up, and listen, we're trying to do what's best for the players, safety and health. You had the Players Association. I'll get into that around the NFL around news. Let me hold off on that. Okay. This was surprising. The New Orleans Saints surprised Mr. Dimple Chin and the Buccaneers, blanketed them 9-0. Where's my clip?
I'm not going to even sit here and act like I didn't know this was coming, or act like I know this was coming because I did it.
That's the first time Tom Brady in 15 years has gotten shut out. This was practically a defensive game. That's what it felt like to me. When Chris Godwin went out, he's out for the season. Which I don't think that'll hurt him getting a contract. I don't think. Leonard Fournette went down. Mike Evans went out. It just didn't look. I think once the injuries got Tampa, I think they just kind of was like, I don't think they had answers. Now I was surprised that the Saints didn't try to get some more points on the board. This was to me a defensive game. You got to give their defensive coordinator, I believe his name is Dennis Allen, who filled in because Sean Payton, obviously, he missed the game because he tested positive for COVID. I hope he's doing well. 255 games that Tom Brady has started, including the playoffs, did the job. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are Tom Brady's kryptonite. Now, let's call it what it is. Mr. Dimple Chin himself, 4,348 yards, I think it is, 36 touchdowns, is an MVP candidate. Where's the clip? Guaranteed. That's painful to play. Listen, listen, I'm a fan of Tom Brady. Just Cooper Kupp and Jonathan Taylor. Okay. 26 of 48, 1 interception. Now, compared to Taysom Hill, who was 13 and 27, 154 yards, no picks. I think did his job as a game manager to just keep the game I think he just was just asked to just keep it simple and do his game because they had a 39, 35 with a 42-yard field goal. I personally, after and shout out to Nick Rosario, we were watching the football game together. It was just, yes, is this kryptonite? I mean, when he threw, I really wanted to turn off after the third quarter. I was really hoping that they would get it together. Ryan Suckup missed a 45-yard field goal, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay. So that was painful. That was really painful to watch. The Seattle Seahawks are trash. Let me hold on. Let me back up. Scratch it for the record. The Seattle Seahawks are not the team that I thought they would be. This is the first time in 10 years with Russell Wilson behind center, their first losing season. They've gotten to the playoffs 9 of 11 years. Ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly what I'm talking about. It's not Russell Wilson, but this is why I'm a strong advocate for not paying a quarterback should not be your highest paid player on your team. Because look at the end result. Look at their defense. Look at the fact that they can't get an offensive line around Russell Wilson. And to be quite honest with you, watching the Rams play, I was not surprised by that. Something told me that they weren't going to even stand a chance against the Rams. Russell Wilson could only do but so much. Let's be clear. Like the score, 20-10, it honestly and truthfully really reflects what the Seahawks have to really get. Like if you put an offensive line in front of Wilson, in front of Russ, you got Lockett, DK Metcalf, Gerald Everett, and if you had a healthy Chris Carson, I'll even say Alex Collins, that Seahawk team easily wins 10 games.
Guaranteed.
They don't have that. Does Pete Carroll, and I don't believe Pete Carroll should go. Me personally, he's gotten 9-11 years. They've gotten to the playoffs. They have a Super Bowl. I understand that after a while, your voice may not be the same in the locker room. I understand that. But if you let's call it what it is, who would be a replacement for Pete Carroll? I don't know. Me personally, I look at the front office. If I come out and saying I need help, give me an offensive line, and I'm saying those comments publicly, and you still haven't addressed it, that's a problem. I don't see him staying there next year. Me personally, why? I mean, he's got to get up out of there. Free Russell Wilson. Let's transition. I want to talk about a game that was actually really, really surprising. The Las Vegas Raiders surprised the Cleveland Browns 16-14. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. For all intended purposes, the Cleveland Browns should have won this game. In the first half, they had under 100 yards offensively. I get it, didn't have Baker. They just didn't look. They didn't look right. They didn't look right. And then on the defensive side of the ball, They made their the Foster Monroe. They say you say his name. He looked like the second coming of Rob Gronkowski out there. Like, I mean, like particularly going for the game winning field goal for Las Vegas. They didn't tackle him, and then they allowed him to get 5 extra yards, which took time off the clock and a field and then field position. Like Oakland, Las Vegas. I'm sorry, I keep saying Oakland. Las Vegas made a lot of mistakes. In the second half, they had 2 crucial turnovers. And then when Derek Carr went out with the injury, he did get injured in that game. Like the Browns should have won this game. They should have. Hey Lucinda, how are you? Good to see you. The Browns are who I thought they were. I need to get the Dennis. I need to get the Dennis Green clip on here next time. I need to. So the Browns got to play Green Bay. I don't see them winning that game. And the Raiders, they got to I think they play who do the Raiders play? Hold on. The Broncos, the AFC West matchup. The Browns are who I thought they were. And then in this embarrassing Monday Night Football game, mediocre to me, the Chicago Bears lost to the Minnesota Vikings 17-9. Matt Nagy has to go. I have seen it. I thought I hadn't seen it all. That was awful football to see. Like, my Lord, like, are you kidding me? The Bears should have had at least 21 points on the board. They should have. I mean, turnovers. Turnovers to me was the biggest key. Justin Fields could only do but so much. My only issue was with this Bear team. That defense isn't getting any younger. I'm talking about Hakeem Hicks and Khalil Mack. They have the team to compete. That was pretty bad. That was. Next, the San Francisco 49ers play the Tennessee Titans. This starts week 16. Hold on, let me put a banner on real quick. I forgot to put it on before we started. Starts week 16. I'm kind of intrigued by this matchup because the 49ers have been playing well as of late. The Tennessee Titans, they did lose to me. I thought was a to me an all game. They should have beaten the Steelers. It's a home game for Tennessee. The last they've lost 3 of the last 4 games. San Fran, they had a big win against Cincinnati in overtime, and then they beat Atlanta last week. Couple things I want to see in this game. I know Nick Bosa is going to do his thing. Like, I had the it's kind of funny. I got clowned for this. Not clown, but I have fantasy football, okay? And I drafted 3 defenses. And one of them was San Francisco's defense. Nick Bosa, to me, should be right there with TJ Watt. As far as arguably one of the best defensive players in the game. I believe I looked at his stats. We have it right here. He leads 18 tackles for loss. He also ties with his brother Joey, who plays for the Chargers, and TJ Watt with 6 forced fumbles and sacks, and then 15 sacks behind TJ Watt. Could be also a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year, in my opinion. Now, the Tennessee Titans, again, are Derrick Henry-less. And for all intended purposes, I kind of want to see what they look like. I believe A.J. Brown's supposed to come back off IR. Ironically, when I looked at their last 3 games, they've only scored 46 points, which was surprising to me. That's actually honestly kind of bad. That's really not really what the Tennessee Titans are. Jimmy Garoppolo also, too, let's give him some love as well for San Francisco. I'll go back. Let me actually hold on that point with Jimmy G. The biggest what I've noticed is Tennessee's only scored under 14 points. They're statistically, I found that they're 9-1 when they score 14 points at least. But the last 4 games that they've lost, they've scored 13 games and they've lost. I think the biggest issue is that they allow points. I think with San Francisco, they allow 22 points per game. They've held their own, but with Tennessee, like I said, I think when you lose your identity with Derrick Henry, it does show, and there's nobody else besides A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. Julio Jones couldn't do but so much. I don't really see what they can do, what they bring to the table. But it also goes to show you that's exactly why you don't go in the middle of the logo of an opponent and try to be tough. Like the Tennessee Titans, I don't know. Like they need to be put in check, and Pittsburgh did just that. So now with Jimmy Garoppolo, he's actually looked pretty well. I know Elijah Moore is injured. Jeff Wilson Jr., yes, came back off injury. Deebo Samuel, Kyle Juszczyk, George Kittle. Like, that's pretty much been the offense. I predict that Jimmy Garoppolo will throw 3 touchdowns and that the San Francisco 49ers will defeat the Tennessee Titans 31-14.
Guaranteed.
I think that the way that the Titans have looked as of late, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. And Adrian Peterson, he plays for the Seahawks. I'm sorry. The Titans are going to figure some things out. Let's go to Week 15. Let's go to the picks. So my picks for Week 15 was pretty consistent, I would say. Let's see. I think I got pretty much everyone right, except the Titans and Steelers. The Cardinals lost to the Lions, 30-12. I'm gonna let it go. Let it go. Just let it go. I say for the most part, I think I got every pick right. The Cowboys, we all know they're gonna beat the Giants. The Dolphins squeezed a big win off the Jets, 31-24. Yeah. Well, the Bengals, they beat the Broncos. That's it. I think I did say they beat the Broncos. Week 15, I'd say I was pretty consistent with my picks. But with that being said, we're going to transition into the Jim Moore segment.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Thank you, Jim Moore. Well, it is as of today, it's now 12. It's week 16 of the playoffs. Of the season. And it's starting to wind down really short. It's starting to come down to the wire. As of today, the Kansas City Chiefs sit at top of the AFC West, 10-4. Then the second seed, the New England Patriots, first place in the AFC East, 9-5. The Tennessee Titans, 9-5, in the AFC South, first place. The Cincinnati Bengals, 8-6, first place of the AFC North. The Indianapolis Colts, second place in the AFC South, 8-6. The Chargers, second place in the AFC West, 8-6, and the Buffalo Bills, 8-6, AFC East. And on the bubble, it's the Baltimore Ravens, Steelers, Raiders, Browns, Dolphins, Broncos tied for 500. If the playoffs started today, the Chiefs, Patriots, Titans, Bengals, Colts, Chargers, Bills are your 7 seeds. Okay, now, as of today, your top 5 picks: Jacksonville, Detroit, Houston, New York Jets. The Chicago Bears need to start preparing for the 22 NFL draft. The Cleveland Browns and the Denver Broncos are not going to make the playoffs.
Guaranteed.
The way the Miami Dolphins, I don't think the Dolphins will beat the Saints. Well, no. That's a toss-up. I'm torn on that one. The Chiefs play the Steelers. I'm not sold on the Chiefs. Now, I'm gonna be confident on this because I think the Baltimore Ravens have to win this game against Cincinnati. They don't make the playoffs. But I think luck is going to be on Baltimore's side because I think the Baltimore Ravens are going to make the playoffs.
Guaranteed.
I think the Ravens would be a 7th or 6th seed. The Buffalo Bills, surprisingly, I think, ladies and gentlemen, are not going to make the playoffs.
Guaranteed.
The Buffalo Bills are not. I'm only saying that because this was a team that I picked to win the AFC East, and they're not looking like it. I don't know what happened. I feel like Sean McDermott and some of the play calling, I question it. To me, when you've got Devin Singletary, Zach Moss, there were certain instances where they should be running the ball instead of giving it to Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis, Cole Beasley, Dawson Knox. Like, learn how to mix it up, and that because they're the 7th seed and they're 8-6 and they play New England, and I don't think they're going to win. I don't believe they'll win that game. So the Colts, they will make the playoffs.
Guaranteed.
I'm confident with that. Other than that, I think what you're seeing right now, I think their first and second seeds are a lock.
Guaranteed.
Let's move on to the NFC. The Green Bay Packers, they've clinched. They clinched the division with the thanks to the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears, man. Behind the number 2 is that team in Dallas, known as the Dallas Cowboys, Mr. Dimple Chin and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Cardinals, Rams, Niners, Vikings. In the hunt, Eagles, Saints, Washington, Atlanta, Carolina, Seattle, New York. The Atlanta Falcons, Carolina, Seattle, are not going to make the playoff.
Guaranteed.
The New York Giants, I don't see it. The Seattle Seahawks, I think they can beat the Bears. I think so. The Panthers play Tampa Bay. I know there's going to be, for some reason, I just see the Buccaneers going off on Carolina. The Atlanta Falcons, they play the Detroit Lions, and something just gives me these vibes that the Lions are going to surprise the Falcons. Something's going to tell me that. The Washington football team and the Philadelphia Eagles are two teams that surprised me, because the last three games for both teams, surprisingly, are all divisional games. Philadelphia is 500. We're 6-8. I don't think the Minnesota Vikings will win two of those three games, probably win one of those three games. If I'm saying this, if I'm looking at this right, Washington, really quick, let me pull up Washington's schedule. We've got Dallas, and then the day after New Year's, Philadelphia again, then the Giants in the 9th. Right there, I personally believe the Washington football team's going to win those three games.
Guaranteed.
I can't see Washington after. I can't see Washington losing to Dallas on the road. I can't see that this upcoming Sunday. I can't see that. And I can't see Washington at home losing to Philadelphia. And I can't see Washington losing to the Giants on the road. I can't see that. Now, with the Vikings, really quick, I'm kind of curious with the tiebreaker. So the Vikings, they've got the Rams. I don't think they'll win that game. I don't think they'll beat the Packers. And then you've got the Bears, which is clearly a win. Like I think they're gonna lose those two games. That's just me. And then when you look at it, that 7th seed, I think the Washington football team will get the 7th seed and make the playoffs.
Guaranteed.
So Dallas, Tampa, Arizona, the Rams, the minor 49ers, and the Washington football team will be, along with the Packers, your 7 seeds, your playoff teams, your teams to make the playoffs.
Guaranteed.
And that is going to conclude this segment.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
With that being said, we're going to transition to news around the NFL, starting with the Pro Bowl. Yes. The Pro Bowl was announced. Congratulations to some guys that didn't make it, unfortunately. That I had on my list, and I should have thought about doing this a video, but there's a couple guys that didn't make the list. I was surprised. Austin Eckler should have made the Pro Bowl. To me, Joe Burrow was another option for me. Well, Derrick Henry's obviously injured, so that's out the picture. Cordell Patterson, to me, would have been a good fit. Made the Pro Bowl. Jeffrey Simmons, Justin Simmons, Matt Stafford. There's a couple guys that should have made the Pro Bowl, and I was very, very surprised. But let's just get it over with. Congratulations, Mr. Stephon Diggs, Deion Dawkins, Xavier Howard, J.C. Jackson, Matthew Judon, Matthew Slater. The Jets didn't get any Pro Bowlers. Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews, Patrick Ricard, Justin Tucker, Devin Duvernay. I was surprised Marquise Brown didn't get it. I feel like he's been having a great year. Ironically, really quick, Mark Andrews and Hollywood Brown are on pace to have 1,000 yards receptions plus for Ravens history. They can really actually the great Michael Jackson, who played not the singer. We had Michael Jackson, another different Michael Jackson that played for us back in 96, 99. What's going on? What's going on, Ant? I think we'll surpass his records. Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, Trey Hendrickson, Joel Bertino, Myles Garrett, Nick Chubb, Wyatt Teller, Denzel Ward, T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward. The Texans didn't get a Pro Bowler. Jonathan Taylor, Quentin Nelson, Ryan Kelly, Dennis Leonard, DeForest Buckner, Kenny Moore, Luke Rhodes, and the Jacksonville Jaguars didn't get one. Kevin Bernard is going to the Pro Bowl. The Broncos, surprisingly, like I said, I would have put Justin Simmons in there. He'd been to me. I think he should have. I think he's been playing well to get my consideration for Pro Bowl. The Chiefs, Orlando Brown made it. Tyreek Hill, Chris Jones, Kelsey, Mahomes, and the Honey Badger himself. Max Crosby, Denzel Perryman, AJ Cole. The Chargers, Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Derwin James, Corey Lindsey, Jordy Bosa, Rashard Slater. And, of course, for the Cowboys, Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, Micah Parsons, Trevon Diggs, Brian Anger, the Eagles, Jason Kelsey, Darius Slay, Jonathan Allen, Brandon Sheriff for the Washington football team, Robert Quinn, Jakeem Grant Sr., Devontae Adams, Kenny Clark, Mr. Fractured to himself, Aaron Rodgers, Delvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Harrison Smith, Kyle Pitts, and Josh Harris for the Falcons, Brian Burns for the Panthers, Cam Jordan, Alvin Kamara, Marshawn Lattimore, JT Gray, and, of course, Mr. Dimple Chin himself made the Pro Bowl for a 15th time. Shaq Barnett, Ryan Jensen, Ali Marpet, Tristan Wirfs, Buda Baker, Kyler Murray, James Conner, Chandler Jones, Cooper Kupp, well-deserved, Aaron Donald, Matt Gay, Jalen Ramsey, Nick Bosa, Kyle Juszczyk, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Trent Williams, Bobby Wagner, Quandre Diggs to close out the Pro Bowl selections. Congratulations to all those that made the Pro Bowl. I feel like that's accurate, honestly and truthfully. I'll be honest with you on that. It's, to me, accurate. Well-deserved. Well-deserved. And just really quick point of order, it's not Aaron Rodgers. I just kidding around. I'm not making light of any injury. I really do. I really would hope that he gets that fixed in the off season. I do. So not trying to throw any jokes on Mr. Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, no shade over here, sir. Vincent Jackson was diagnosed with stage 2 CTE. He died a while ago of alcohol abuse. It's just sad because I would think that the NFL would help these guys. Yes, Cooper Kupp, beast. Absolutely, I agree. I would think that the NFL will provide resources and have these guys covered. But it just lets me know, man, that these guys, I mean, I get it from when they're kids to middle school, high school, college. I mean, I get it. But, man, like, I get it. But you hate to see that. JT Treader, who is the spokesperson for the Players Association, he actually said it, and I was reading it on Yahoo Sports. He pushed for guys to get paid after the league wanted to cancel the games because of the cases. And I was a little confused because the league did say Ken, what's good, bro? What's good? Oh, I got jokes for Aaron Rodgers, like Bradley Cooper's older. Oh no, that's not right. That's not right. Um, so I'm a little because the league did say at the beginning of the year that they were not if you couldn't find time within the season to reschedule the game you just had to forfeit the games, which really lets me know that the NFL has one thing and one thing in mind. They're trying to get the season over with. Money. That's what it all comes down to, people. That's just the bottom line. The Buccaneers signed Le'Veon Bell, Leonard Fournette's in the IR, and other than Ronald Jones, I can't think of the other running back they have. I think he's just a filler in. So as far as that, Lamar Jackson practice again today. Teddy Bridgewater is out. He will not play this week because of concussion. So Drew Lock will start in his place. Coach Robert Sahali, he tested positive for COVID-19. So I'm sending my thoughts and prayers to him. Hoping he gets well in a speedy recovery. But that's really all I saw around the league to me as far as things that I felt were good topics to talk about. Now, with that being said, let's transition into the most painful part of the show. Major League Baseball. Nothing really going on. This is day 20, actually day 21, but day 2021 of the MLB strike. Nothing, no progression, no talks. As I actually kind of I found out that teams can't get updates on their players, especially if they are recovering from injury, which is weird to me, but that's part of the lockout. I know, like, for example, like the Yankees, I know, like DJ LeMahieu, Darren O'Day, a couple other guys. Like Aaron Hicks is another one. You can't find out their progression at all, which is really, really weird. And again, like you got some marquee free agents that can't sign anywhere because, again, like the same thing. If it's a lockout. So they're just going to wait until the season's over, which I kind of already feel like they already have them in mind who they're going to sign with. So we'll see. With the Padres, they added Bob Melvin as their manager. They also hired Matt Williams, former third baseman, and Brian Price, who was a former manager for the Cincinnati Reds. I think that's actually going to be an interesting coaching staff. I do. I was not sold on the Padres. I didn't see it. So that's pretty much what's going on. Buck Showalter took a shot at the Baltimore Orioles. Yeah, I didn't appreciate that. He is now the manager for the New York Mets. Congratulations, Buck. Freddie Freeman needs to wrap this up so he can re-sign. I think he'll sign. I think he'll resign, but they can't negotiate because of the lockout. So let's transition into another painful topic to talk about the Washington Wizards. We were supposed to play the Sacramento Kings, the Brooklyn Nets, but that game got postponed due to COVID. So I'm assuming that game will be probably made up either in January or February. That's how I look at it. I was surprised because coming off of another to me a much needed win against the Jazz, I was like, okay, we got to play Brooklyn, and I know Brooklyn's had with COVID protocol, James Harden, KD, then they got Kyrie Irving back as a part-time player, which I'm not. MLB needs to get this figured out. Doggone it. I'll get into that in a little bit because you'll kind of see this will coexist. We play the New York Knicks. I don't really know what to really expect from this game. So KCP, he's out. Health and safety protocols. Obviously, Thomas Bryant, Rui Hachimura aren't playing. The Knicks had Derrick Rose had ankle surgery, so he's going to be out for quite a bit. Miles McBride's out. Opie Toppin, R.J. Barrett, Kevin Knox, Emmanuel Quickly, Quentin Grimes, all out due to COVID, health and safety protocols. Excuse me. By all intended purposes, the Wizards should win this game. They should. Julius Randle, Kemba Walker, Fournier, they're carrying this team. I know they beat the Detroit Pistons the other night. Kemba Walker's actually starting to look back. He's starting to kind of get a swagger back. What are your thoughts on the NBA finishing up the season with fans in the stands and the way things are going with COVID? You can answer that later if that's part of your agenda. I mean, I'll answer when we get to the NBA news. With the Wizards, I have been stressing this for quite some time. We are 16-15. Like, we were not too long ago in first place. Some things that have stood out to me watching these guys play, the shooting's terrible. Like, let's just call it what it is. I understand it when Bertans, Casper, KCP, Kuzma, like, they shoot like we're not a good 3-point shooting team. And on top of that, like, we're 20. If you look according to the stats, we're 23rd in offensive efficiency and then 25th in scoring. Like, when Thomas Bryant comes back, we'll see. Will Bertans step up? We'll see. But they need to get a shooter. That's just me. Washington, besides Daniel Gafford, they could really use a big man. I'm a center. I'm talking someone maybe like Sabonis, somebody, because they don't have that. We're not like great defending the three, but as far as in the paint, no. We allow the most points in the paint, which was almost like close to 50, and then we allow teams to shoot over 66% from the field. Like, that can't happen. If again, what's on so sold me on was we're a defensive first team shooting second. The stats say otherwise. Apparently, again, if we're going to make the playoffs, we got to face teams like Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Giannis, Brook Lopez, Joel Embiid, Andre Drummond. Like, Washington ain't got that. They don't. And then again, I'm going to keep saying it. I think Washington could really benefit the services of a point guard. I would like to see John Wall reunite back here in DC, but I know that's not going to happen. Dinwiddie is not a point guard. He's a combo guard. You got Aaron Holiday, but Aaron Holiday is really a bench player. Raul Neto, they all great. They all could play defense, but they're not bringing anything to the table. They're not bringing anything to the table. They got to give me something, and I don't see it. They have been inconsistent, and I feel like they need somebody that can get the pace of the team going. That's just me. I think the Washington Wizards pull out a narrow victory against the New York Knicks, 113-109.
Guaranteed.
And guys calling out Bradley Beal for saying we're not getting involved. Like, this is a mess. I mean, I'm not jumping ship, but we really shouldn't be hearing guys this early in the season like saying we're not getting involved. All this, I shouldn't be hearing that. I honestly and truthfully should not be hearing that in the middle, in the early this early in the season. Yeah, we got a problem. Let's see. What else is going on? Manu Ginobili, when transitioning in the NBA news or on the NBA, Manu Ginobili, Chauncey Billups, nominee, first time nominees going in the Basketball Hall of Fame, well deserved. Also, too, Tim Hardaway Sr. could get another chance. Sean Marion, George Carl. We had someone named Bobby Higgins, Swin Cash, Becky Hammond. I think they should be. They're going to get into the Hall of Fame. They should be Hall of Famers, in my opinion. But also, who's going in the Hall of Fame? Tom Chambers and Lindsey Whalen, former Minnesota Lynx. Well deserved. I think this is going to be a good class compared to last year. But I think it's well deserved. Manu Ginobili, obviously, he played for the Spurs. Chauncey Billups, aka Mr. Big Shot, Detroit Pistons, obviously, Clippers. Well deserved. Damn, I can't believe this. Not like yesterday, I watched those guys play basketball. Now Chauncey Billups is a coach, and Manu Ginobili is, I think he's overseas. Coaching, I think. So congratulations to those guys. Some other things around the NBA. Lance Stevenson and Malcolm Hill were signed to 10-day contracts with the Atlanta Hawks. Luka Doncic is also in health and safety protocols. The league is now to the point where you can just sign guys off the street. So by all accounts, I should, go make an appointment with the doctors and get a physical and try out for an NBA team. Like the Celtics signed Big Shot Joe Johnson. So hey, why not? Congratulations to Darren Williams. He beat Frank Gore in a boxing match. I did not watch it. I saw the highlights on YouTube. I was really surprised with that. So congratulations. He beat Frank Gore via split decision. Oh, my goodness. So, yeah, other than that, I just hope that with these games, the league is the same thing. Adam Silver made it clear that he's not. He said there was no talk about postponing stopping the season, putting the pause on the season. He's made that vehemently clear. So, again, trying to get the season out the way. Back to what Anthony was saying, I do think, I know for the Wizards, I think now you got to show that you've at least got vaccinated once. You got to wear your mask at all times, different things like that. You're just going to have to just implement safety when you go to the games, different things like that. But again, at the end of the day, I hate to say it, but they're trying to get these games out of the way. Personally, I don't like it, but unfortunately, money talks. The same thing that with the NFL, with Major League Baseball, and the NBA, certain things that you're seeing, with Ben Simmons and Kyrie Irving, I think that's why I believe the owners are going to lock out in 2023 when the CBA expires. There's certain things that you've seen, not just with the pandemic, but before the pandemic, owners aren't going for. And it's going to rear its ugly head for sure. Let's transition into college basketball. The Lady Terps played. This was the last game before Christmas. Obviously, we played Coppin State, something like. Was not expecting. I was expecting a blowout. The final score was 98-52. Diamond Miller came back in this game. She coming off an injury. what can I say? She missed 4 games. She's had knee problems. She did play 2 of those games, but she didn't play against when we were in the Bahamas. Those 2 games, she didn't play those games. She did finish with 10 points. She had 6 rebounds. Again, starting to come back. Lady Terps are starting to make their run. Like I said, you give us a healthy squad. Like, we're 10-3, and I feel like when you look at the rankings, I think they do a little disservice because we haven't been at full strength. Like Katie Benson, she missed last month 3 games, and again, we played South Carolina, NC State, and was it Stanford? I can't remember, but they were all top 10. She didn't play. Lauren Harper, former Maryland Terp, coaches at Coppin State. I think she's going to do great things for that program. She did help us win a national title, which was 06, I think it was. So shout out to Lauren Harper. Going forward, look. Maryland, this was a game I think needed to get back on track. And we were going to say you played a team that's not that great. I'm not going to say that Coppin State, they're not terrible. They're actually pretty good. Like I said, I think get everybody back on track. Maryland is going to make a run because I do think Maryland's going to represent us in the Final Four. Guaranteed. And on top of that, like we did, I think we're now number 7. Let me look at the rankings real quick. We did go up 3 according to what it was on ESPN. We're number 6 because last week we were number 9. So, because right there is South Carolina, Stanford, Louisville, Arizona, NC State. Actually, because Stanford lost, and I got flamed on Twitter. Shout out to the South Carolina Gamecocks. I said that I guaranteed that Stanford was going to upset South Carolina, and Stanford blew an 18-point lead. So what you're looking at is a team that is clearly coming. They're wanting revenge. Let's appreciate the greatness of Dawn Stanley and what she has built at South Carolina. That's painful for me to say, but listen, I love Dawn Stanley. She's one of my favorite coaches, but I cannot believe they blew an 18-point lead. I cannot believe that. Thank you, Stanford. But we play Illinois next on the 30th. That actually should be an interesting game because I don't think Illinois is ranked. Illinois, I don't even think is in the – no, they're not ranked. So that should be an interesting game. I think that'll be something like for Maryland too. Let's transition away from college basketball. Oh, sorry, let's stick with Towson. Shout out to the Towson Tigers, them fellas. We beat Navy 69-52. We have until New Year's Eve, we play the University of James Madison at home, where the Towson Tigers, how many points? What do you mean, how many points? Clarify that. They will beat, I will say they'll beat James Madison, the Towson Tigers, and look along the lines of 71-65. Guaranteed. The Lady Tigers, again, they've missed a couple games. They had 2 games canceled. University of Memphis and Penn State, those games were canceled. We got Drexel University also on the 31st. That's an away game for us. We're 9-1 coming into this game. I think they'll beat Drexel. $69-55. Guaranteed. All right. Now, let's transition into the last topic of the show, of the episode, of the show. If you missed it, Sunday was the draft lottery, where 4 great teams that will have the chance to, were lottery teams, unfortunately. The Mystics, the Indiana Fever, Atlanta Dream, and the Dallas Wings. And, I was confident, ladies and gentlemen. I said it in 2 episodes. If you missed it, go back episodes 4 and 3, where I said the Washington Mystics will have number 1 overall pick. Thank you, Jesus. Let's play the video, shall we? Can I have my moment, please?
Thank you, LaChina, and good luck to all 4 teams. The 4th pick in the 2022 WNBA draft, presented by State Farm.
Watch Mickey Johnson's face.
The Dallas Wings.
Dallas Wings had 3 of the top 5 picks in the 2021 WNBA draft, including number 1 overall.
Picking 3rd will be the Atlanta Dream.
The Atlanta Dream has now had 3 top 4 overall picks in the last 3 years. Prior to that, they had only had 1 top 4 overall pick, and that was Angel McCautry at number 1.
Yes,
in 2000.
I Louisville. Right, yeah.
Down to the final 2 teams vying for the top pick. The 2nd pick goes to the Indiana Fever.
Are you kidding me?
Which means the number 1 pick in the 2022 draft, presented by State Farm, goes to
yes.
I told y'all
Yes.
good luck starting this year.
That's right. Your eyes will deceive you. We had the number 1 overall pick in next year's draft. Now, I'm saying that now. Okay. You get a healthy Elena Deladon back. You got Natasha Cloud, Arrow Atkins, Alicia Clark. I don't know where Tina Charles is going. I don't know where her headspace is like. I don't know if she's going to stay or leave. Maisha Hines-Allen is a restricted free agent. They have to address the bench. We need to push. You got Erica. I can't forget about Erica McCall and Sydney Weeks. Personally, your number 1 overall pick is going to be Nalasia Smith. Guaranteed. Out of the University of Baylor. I think Ryan Howard, but I think Nalasia. I do. Exactly. Let's go Mystics. Exactly. Look, I stand by some of the comments that I made about this team. I feel like it's best. My only fear is Mike Tebow did come out and say that he would trade the number 1 overall pick.
Relationship with your
Oh
children.
my God.
For the right price. Mike, you're crazy. Listen. I love Coach T. The basketball, the coach, I want him on my team as a coach. As a GM, I question some of the decision making. I don't want the Mystics to be in a situation where you've had an opportunity to have a generational piece on this team, and we trade that pick, and what if it doesn't pan out? What if let's hypothetically we said, well, I don't know who you would trade your number 1 overall pick for. You would have to get a lot. The Mystics would have to get a lot for the number 1 overall pick. I think personally, you draft Nalasia Smith, You re-sign Maisha Hines-Allen. Now, I did say, and again, not a shot at Alicia Clark. I did say I would like to see what her value is trading wise, and she responded to me. And I'm not kidding when I said it. She responded like, "Dan, can you at least wait? Can I at least wait to suit up before you trade me?" Only because I just look at the team. I want the team to have to build from the bottom up. I don't want the team to like, okay, we got the same pieces and we're in the same. I want the Mystics to be in a position where they're winning for years to come, not fall flat on its face. I want the team to be fundamentally, foundational wise set when Coach T walks away from the game of basketball. As far as the other teams go, I'm actually not surprised. I think ironically, I actually got in the draft order correct. Now, the Indiana Fever had, I think it was 44%, a 44% chance to get the number one overall pick. But again, like I'm telling you, they have the team. They just need another piece. You got Kelsey Mitchell, Kaiser Gondry's coming back, Tierra McCowan. If they re-sign Victoria Vivians in free agency, Tiffany Mitchell. You're getting Chelsea Perry back, Emma Cannon, who stepped up. I think would be a good piece. Jantel Lavender. They got a squad that can make the playoffs. Personally, I think, again, it's not a shot at her. I love her to death. I think she's a great assistant coach. Coach Stanley's not a head coach. They need someone like a coach like Taj Franklin, Fred Williams. They need somebody like that. But Kelsey Mitchell just came out, 2018? This is her third year. She averaged 17, 18 last year. Like, again, look, what happened to let's give it some time? I'm telling you, the Indiana Fever have the team. They just need a piece. I think they got the foundational core right there. I do. The Dallas Wings. Really quick, let me just I don't think the Dallas Wings need any more lottery picks. I think the Dallas Wings have the team to compete. They gotta just perform. It's how far Vicky Johnson takes this team. You've got Charlie Collier. You had the number 1 overall pick, the 2nd overall pick, the 5th overall pick last year. Charlie Collier, Awa Kure, Chelsea Dungy. And you got Arike Ugumawale, Alicia Gray, Isabel Harrison, Marina Raven, Arike Ugumawale, Seitu Sabli, and Kayla Thornton. They got a squad in Dallas. I don't know how many draft picks you need before you go, oh, we're set. The Atlanta Dream. Personally, I kind of feel like they got that because of what happened during the Olympic break with Courtney Williams and that situation. I do. That's just my opinion. I doubt it, but I kind of feel like that kind of played a role into it. I don't know what Kennedy Carter's situation with her is going to look like. You got a boatload of free agents that are going to probably walk. Some will probably stay. I know, like a Monique Billings, Elizabeth Williams. Courtney. They already made it clear they're not going to re-sign Courtney Williams. I think Shakina Strickland stays. Tiana Hawkins is still on the team for next season. It's kind of interesting. So I don't know. I think they have. I think it was fair. I do. Personally, I think Atlanta could get a center. So someone like a Shakira Austin would be good for the Dream. Let me just pull up Atlanta's contracts really quick. Let me let you Spot Track is. Yeah, they got Cheyenne Parker, Tiana Hawkins, Ari McDonald, Kennedy Carter, and Matique Corzola. That's all that's left as of next year. That's signed through 2025 at least. Wow, that stings. Let's see. Hold on. So that means Tiffany Hayes, Shakina Strickland, Odyssey Sims, Candice Dupree, Blake Dietrich were all free agents, including Courtney Williams. I don't know who Atlanta could sign. I don't. I'd say probably someone like Monique Billings and Elizabeth Williams will stay in Atlanta, probably. But with that being said, that actually, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the draft setup. So with the first pick in the draft, the Washington Mystics were on the clock. Then the Indiana Fever, the Atlanta Dream, the Dallas Wings, New York Liberty, the Chicago Sky, the Dallas Wings again, the Minnesota Lynx, the Seattle Storm, Indiana Fever, the Las Vegas Aces, and then the Connecticut Storm finish off the first round. There are only 3 rounds in the WNBA draft. So, yes, I'm excited. I'm happy. Now let's just see what happens come free agency. The Washington Mystics are 2022 WNBA champions. Let's go.
Guaranteed.
Okay, with that being said, that concludes this episode of Big Nick Talk Podcast. Episode 6 will go live tomorrow. That'll be the last video before the holidays, and that'll hold. I think that'll hold everybody down until after the holidays, which is that Tuesday. Like I said, I will be debuting on Melon next Tuesday. My goal is to go live Tuesdays and Fridays. I'm trying to stay consistent with that schedule because I'm trying to keep up from the beginning of the week to the middle to the end of the week. But in tomorrow's episode, got to break down the NFL games, break down the Christmas games, because the way those games are looking, it's looking like minor league basketball out there. With the amount of guys signed from the G League and 10-day contracts. So you'll see that episode probably sometime around the afternoon, mid-afternoon, mid-evening. But until then, y'all have a good night. Thank you for those that joined. If you like the podcast, give it a thumbs up. Please consider sharing. Also consider hitting the subscribe button along with notification bells on. We are on the road to greatness, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the support that you've given me in this channel. I don't know where I would be with this channel without you guys. So much love. Again, I will see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a good night. Stay up.
Listen, I'm easy to find. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.